the trend that has been hovering around of late of people calling others Nazis, mainly from the left towards the right. Anything that they deem to be disagreeable will instantly be met with accusations of he's a Nazi, she's a Nazi, he is doing this, he is Hitler, she is Hitler. Now, what I'm finding in my research is that this doesn't really change. It has been happening for a very long time. And in 1968, we have another example of that happening between Gore Vidal and William F. Buckley. So I'm confident you've seen plenty of people who have thrown around these accusations that Donald Trump is a Nazi, etc., and anyone with a conservative viewpoint is a Nazi. It's a common slur. It's meant to humiliate and to compare people to the worst of the worst in history. And as you'll see here, it has not changed. The trend began in many years ago, and you can see it happening in the exchange between William F. Buckley and Gore Vidal. So I'm going to play that now, and we can talk about it afterwards.
You must realize what some of the political issues are here, that many people in the United States happen to believe that the United States policy is wrong in Vietnam, and the Viet Cong are correct in wanting to organize their country in their own way politically. This happens to be pretty much the opinion of Western Europe and many other parts of the world. If it is a novelty in Chicago, that is too bad. But I assume that for the point of the American democracy,
and some
is you can express any point of view you want.
Nazi.
Shut up a minute.
No, I won't.
And
some people were pro-Nazi, and the answer is that they were well treated by people who ostracized them, and I'm for ostracizing people who egg on other people to shoot American Marines and American soldiers. I know you don't care.
As far as I'm concerned, the only sort of pro-crypto-Nazi I can think of is yourself. Failing that, I would only say that we can't have...
Now listen, you
the right of
stop
assembly
calling me a crypto-Nazi.
Let's stop calling names.
You in your goddamn face, and you'll stay plastered.
Gentlemen, let's...
Oh, Bill.
Let the author of Myra Breckenridge go back to his pornography and stop making any allusions of Nazism to somebody who was in infantry in the last war.
You were not in the infantry, as a matter of fact. You didn't fight in the infantry. You were not. You must realize...
Okay, so the terminology that Gore Vidal used was the crypto-Nazi, which is a suggestion that a person is a hidden Nazi or a quiet Nazi, one that doesn't want to make it known to everyone else, and Gore Vidal is the one who is exposing William F. Buckley as a Nazi, so he calls him a crypto-Nazi. Buckley does not take kindly to this, nor should he, and nor does anyone else that I know who is accused or made to believe that they are in any way similar to Nazi, or that we are in any similar situation to Nazi Germany in the 1940s. It's just not true. But it seems to me to be a simple slur to get under the skin of others, and William F. Buckley was quite disturbed, as he should be, by what was said. Now, I don't think he was proud of it, because he did write a long column about why he did it and things like that, which wasn't the best, wasn't good. He didn't need to explain himself any further, but he was clearly frustrated. And I think Gore Vidal is unwilling to consider the complexity of the situation in Vietnam. And the point that William F. Buckley was making was that there were many agitators who were working in Vietnam, particularly China and the Soviet Union, to encourage the Vietnamese to fight to the end. Now, I recently read a book about Vietnam, and it is said that Mao was quoted as saying he would fight and fight the Americans till the end, till the very last Vietnamese. So he would encourage and use the Vietnamese to fight on their behalf, to encourage socialism in Vietnam. Now, the policy in the United States was the Truman Doctrine, which said that any country who was influenced by Russia or China or any other socialist country to pursue a pathway towards communism, there would be an intervention. It happened in Korea, it happened in Vietnam, and other places as well. There was intervention. And I think anyone who understands the threat of the Soviet Union understands and China for that matter, that understands that it wasn't simply a matter of allowing a country to, or a group of people to organize as they see fit, politically as they see fit. There was far more to the story there. And I think anyone who has given due consideration to the realities of Vietnam would consider all these elements, and perhaps might consider the position that people like William F. Buckley took at the time. So we can see these games that are being played. They are not new. They've happened in the past. So the question, I suppose, is what do we do about them? Well, I don't suggest that we need to lose our cool about it, but I think just recognizing the tactics that the left use, they don't change. The same thing has been happening for many years. And I think it's important to do what William F. Buckley did, to call it out and say how ridiculous and pathetic that it is, and how untrue it is, and how very important it is that we deal in truth when we are talking about history, when we're talking about politics today. It's very important that we are dealing with truth, dealing with actual events, and have an awareness of history so that we can speak on it today and make comparisons that are actually accurate. And from what I've seen so far, generally the left are unable to make comparisons that are actually legitimate. So that's it for the discussion today. What do you think about this? We hear a lot of people being called Nazis, but we can see that it's not a new thing. It's happened in the past before. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks very much, and goodbye.